And number two, that you can do amazing.
The Lord called all of us to personal holiness. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean walking around with a Bible in your hand, preaching? No. It starts with your own personal life, to make inventory of your spiritual life. Am I really following the will of God or my will? Am I doing it my way or his way? We find out many times we're doing it our way. Well, hell's filled with my ways.
You know, my grandfather once said that the three most important things in your life should be faith, family, and he told his team the Green Bay Packers. So that's kind of the priorities I try to keep in my life, and just try to communicate that with the men today.
Two issues about men. First of all, we live in a world that is in desperate need of men to become men of God, and to realize that we live in an age of crisis, and at the same time, how do we then become the type of men we need to be? Because the crisis isn't just out there, it's in here as well. So how do we allow Christ into our lives to address the crisis inside of us so that we can become the kind of problem solvers the world is waiting for?
The theme of the conference today is Mission Possible, which means every single man is called to holiness, which means really to become a saint. And the thing I want to talk about is the fact that it's God who makes saints. It's not just a matter of our willpower. It's not just a matter of me deciding to go out and do it. It's me cooperating with the amazing work that God himself has already begun to do in me. No one's in my corner more than the Lord. No one wants me to be a saint more than the Lord. And all I need to do, Jesus said, is yield to him, abide in him, walk in him, and stay focused on him first, and he'll produce a saint in us. Can you believe it? He's going to do it.
There's so much negativity out here, and plus a lot of men have dropped the ball as spiritual heads of the family. And we came with an idea of Mission Possible, and make it a 3-year plan to do this, get other young people involved. We had too much older guys. We got to mentor them and let them take the ball and run with it. If we have a conference and have nothing afterwards, or a retreat and have nothing after, a mission to have nothing afterwards, we wasted our time. That's why the key to all this is small groups in parishes, accountability groups. First of all, you have a conversion experience. You get touched by an event like this. Then you go into your parish. We're going to show them how you get started with small groups in parishes. And then it'll grow. Then next year, what happens is the small groups feed the conference feeds the small group, and the parish flourish. If you're just praying and not working, don't ask the Lord to do all the work. If you pray and work, the Holy Spirit will bless it. The Blessed Mother is going to take these young men and bring them to his Son. And that's what they'll do. When I see that, that's what we need. We don't need, this Archbishop needs a positive things around him. We got a positive thing. We know the outcome. Why are we walking around like we have doubt? We know we're saved already, but we have to help save others. Our job is to bring as many to Christ as we can here on earth.
Simple. It's very simple, but it's very difficult because it involves change, and change is always difficult. And so, but it's not complex. Becoming a saint is a simple process. It's just wildly difficult. In fact, it's impossible, but with God's grace, it is possible. Working with women is kind of like lighting matches in a brush fire. It just explodes. Men, it's kind of like trying to light a log in the middle of a rainstorm. And you match after match, but if you can ever get that log burning, it'll burn for a long time. Getting men together is really critical. Becoming a saint is a team sport. And so we have to be here together. We need to recognize that the call is for each of us and for all of us. If this was a one-off deal, I wouldn't be here. It would be a waste of time. It's like a pep rally without a game. We need to recognize that this is an opportunity to make a decision to live differently. The way we're going to live differently is we're going to gather in groups, small groups of men who are going to work with one another. The issue is, I want to go to heaven. Do you want to go? Let's go together. That's the key, because you're not going to get there by yourself. We've got to go, like I said before, Christianity, Catholicism is a team sport.
Yeah, well, my job obviously takes a lot of time away from the family, and so when I do have time to get away from the office, just try to make sure that I prioritize the family. And so there's not a lot of golfing or other hobbies, hunting, fishing. We try to keep the family together when I'm free. You know, one of the things I'll tell people is that you know, in football, the most important thing are fundamentals. You know, a lot of times we think it's going to be, you know, the secret play or a secret blitz that's going to win the games, but it really comes down to blocking and tackling. And so I think it's the same thing with your faith. You know, the fundamentals are prayer and the sacraments and fasting and almsgiving, you know, things Jesus told us to do. And master the fundamentals and the rest will take care of itself.
The scripture says the threefold cord is not easily broken. We need one another. There's not a man here today who doesn't realize that the culture's shaking and the church is being shaken in different ways. It's time for men to come together, come into the light, support each other, stand together, and be a source of strength for the church right now when she needs it most. But this is meant to be a launching pad. This is meant to lead you to work together in the trenches, in your homes, in your marriages, with your kids, in your neighborhoods, in your parishes, together and supporting each other and extending the mission of the church throughout the city, throughout the state, throughout the country, if God calls you to it.